Okay, earlier we talked to Melissa Correa. She's live at Bush Airport, and it looked kind of like a ghost town, but the good news is it is open. Oh, look, we got some baggage behind you, Melissa.
Look at that.
We've got some baggage, guys. Folks are flying in from Chicago. I've got mix minus. They just flew in from Chicago. This is a humanitarian flight. Basically, we're learning it's a lot of people from here in Houston who were stranded in other parts finally made their way to Chicago, including Andrew, who lives in Kingwood and was in Brussels. You couldn't make it back to Houston until tonight.
Yeah, I was waiting for this flight. Originally, I wanted to fly on Saturday, got canceled and everything. Today's flight got canceled even. But then, like, out of nothing, it came up and they told me that, hey, there's a possibility. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. And flew in. I was surprised because the airport is pretty much empty, but here I am.
You are back in Houston. You live in Kingwood. We were giving Andrew kind of the directions, the way we went around, because photojournalist Nathan Kavinga and I spent the afternoon in Kingwood and then came down to Bush Airport. How were you expecting your home to be? Have you gotten any word?
Yes, I got some word. Basically, we dodged a flood, a little bit of roof problems, leaking a little bit, but not too much. So for the most part, dodged it. There's still no electricity, so that's going to be a problem, but hoping for the next couple of days.
Do you have any friends or family also in the Kingwood area, or folks just here in Houston who you were just checking up with?
Oh, no, my family. My wife, kids, they're all actually not at home, but spread around at friends, just because of the electricity.
Let me ask you something. I have personally just been going from one location to another, so focused on Houston and the communities around us and what's happening now. You were in Brussels, you were abroad. Tell me a little bit about when you first heard about all of the flooding and the damage and the destruction here in Houston and what that headline is like internationally.
Actually, it's pretty big. Well, yeah.
There's Mayor Turner's curfew. There is a curfew. But tell me a little bit about what it was like for you abroad.
So I was watching it, so I knew what's happening. So I was kind of following this, so that's one thing. But also, I believe since Saturday, it started coming really hard in all the local news. I was in Budapest also at the time, so it was all over actually. And friends are reaching out to me, knowing that I'm from Houston, and asking me if I'm in Houston or where I am right now. How am I doing? So yeah, there's a lot of awareness of it.
It sounds like you've been getting a lot of love from all corners of the globe.
Absolutely, very much so. It's much appreciated.
Last thing for you, Andrew, the first thing you're going to do when you walk into your home, I know it likely might not have electricity. First thing you're going to do?
I'm going to check the roof leaks.
I hope it's okay.
It is what it is.
I'm going to cross my fingers for you.
Thank you so much.
I will tell you, we haven't seen a drop of rain today, if that gives you hope.
It does give me a lot of hope.
Okay.
So.
He's waiting for his bags. We just jumped up on him. I'm going to bring Patrick in because the Hobby and Bush airports opened up around 4 o'clock today. And while these humanitarian flights are coming in with Houstonians and folks who are trying to get into Houston when this storm hit, these are the flights right now. Commercial flights, we were telling folks, will begin sometime this weekend, later in the week. But you really wanted to stress, Patrick, if you were supposed to fly during this storm, save what?
Absolutely. We were able to look at the board just a moment ago, and you could see that there are a number of cancellations through tomorrow and the coming days. So it's very important that if you had a scheduled flight for Thursday, Friday, even the weekend, you really want to check with your carrier to find out what the plan is for a new flight out. So we don't want people who've been inconvenienced already coming back to the airport and being inconvenienced again because they did not check with their carrier. So we're impressing that.
I will say, as we were scrolling through social media through all of this over the last 4 or 5 days or so, we've seen a lot of these airlines already step up and say, listen, we're not going to make you buy a new ticket. We're going to honor it. We're going to figure out the logistics of it. And so people really need to save those confirmation, those reservation numbers. And if the flight was canceled today, there's a chance they could hook up on one in the coming day.
Yeah, that information on your original departure and arrival, keep that information. That's handy. That'll come in handy if you're getting your car out of the garage here at any one of our Houston airports. You'll want to save that information so that you can talk about how to manage circumstances.
Let's talk a little bit about the parking garages, both at Bush and at Hobby. I'm not going to put you on the spot for the step-by-step logistical play of all of this, but quite a few vehicles, hundreds of vehicles, safe to say, are in both of the garages at both of these airports with people who were unable to fly back. The cost goes up, we know, by the hour, sometimes by the day. What are you all working to do to kind of alleviate some of that stress for people who have been gone for longer than they wanted to be?
I did speak to the parking manager, and he made it clear they're very sensitive to the fact that we had the storm. There's a time period in which people were unable to get to their vehicles, so we're very sensitive to that.
And then really quickly, as luggage is now rolling through baggage claim, are you all expecting any hiccups, or maybe baggage didn't get to Hobby or Bush come Saturday night? Maybe it was lost in transit. Is there any relief for people who are wanting to know where their stuff is?
Well, the great thing about being open is we just saw that. We saw a gentleman who was getting ready to hop on a plane to Austin. He found out there was a plane coming into Houston, so he's here. His baggage is in Austin, but thank goodness we have folks from United here and Baggage Claim who can help him with those types of situations. And that's what we're trying to get all those services back up and running.
And then just an update, because folks have been following Jackie and her story. Patrick has known Jackie. She is trying to catch a flight to New York back on Saturday for a job interview on Monday. Neither one of those things happened, and Jackie was stranded here at the airport. You personally, you told me you're going to see that she gets to a shelter. She chose Lakewood Church. Tell me a little bit about everything you're still providing for not only passengers who were stranded, but employees who are still working around the clock.
Absolutely. We had a handful of people who didn't want to take a flight out to Chicago because they're looking for opportunities here. And a smaller group of those decided not to go to a particular shelter. We do have a few people who are still here. We've spoken to her. We know that she happens to be a congregant at Lakewood, so we're going to see that she gets there. That's where she wants to go.
Incredible. I will say this is a humanitarian flight. These are not the commercial flights that keep Bush and Hobby running at the pace that we normally see them. But after experiencing what we all did and watching Houston basically hit the brakes for a few days and not see anything moving in and out of the city, it's kind of nice. We'll end on this shot, Nathan. It's kind of nice to see suitcases coming back into Houston. Ron, I had told you, had said, it's a ghost town, but it's open. And what would you like to say? Wrap it up for me.
Well, absolutely. It's all part of coming back to life, right? It's all part of our normalcy. Houston, hey, I heard a couple of people say that. Houston, we got it. We're Houston strong. That's who we are.
Yes, we are, guys. And now the airports are open for business. Family and friends are welcome to come in or fly out. Some folks might need a vacation after everything they've gone through, and there's a way out of this city if you really do just need to take a break, get another background going for a few days. But the fact that we finally have another transportation option, again, Metro's going to start running routes tomorrow as well. It's a sign, as Patrick said, that we're moving forward, we're getting back on our feet. I'm going to leave you with that. An airport announcer has a very important message. Guys.